Welcome, New York Comic Con 2024, here with Ryan.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. There's a lot of great fan excitement. We are in a busy corner here of the
I feel
New
like
York
this
Comic
place
Con.
gets smaller and smaller every year.
Yeah.
Like first you had like a little room, now you have a corner. Maybe you'll get like a phone booth next time.
Maybe.
We're taking a look at the X-Men 97 Sentinel. Tell us a little bit about the ideas of this Sentinel and then finally seeing it now for the first time.
Yeah, so I think it started with just seeing the show again and being fans ourselves. You know, I grew up with the original cartoon, and just in episode 1 of the Disney Plus show, they're battling all these Sentinels, some of which had those zombie-fied battled faceplates, right? And just being like, is there enough time since the HasLab Sentinel to do another project? And we thought there was. It's been 4 years, and just really making an on-model animated Sentinel that will really fit in with the growing collection of your X-Men 97 Legends. And just letting the team run wild, letting Dwight and team take a stab, classic colors, classic design, and really happy with how he came out.
Was that always the idea to go classic, to go full 97 with it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think some folks had been calling to, re-release the HasLab Sentinel with a repaint, which I don't think that would have ever worked, to be honest. That the HasLab Sentinel was great for what it was to that particular design, a more modern take, but we really needed this more classic look overall, and I think it's delivering that true nostalgic experience for a lot of us fans.
100%, and I feel like with the love that 97 has received, and the initial response with it is pretty overwhelming, would you say?
I would say. It was great action, which we knew, but it was also very emotional. You know, no spoilers, but a lot of stuff went down, and we can't wait to see where Season 2 will take us.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Speaking of Season 2, well, for you guys, I guess you'll be going in Season 2 of doing X-Men 97 figures next year. What's the sort of thing that we can expect? Is it like a certain amount of ways, a couple ways, deluxe figures? What are you planning for 97?
Yeah, so we're not gonna spoil too much,
Damn it,
but
Brian,
there will be a Wave 3. Everyone's like, where's the Wave 3? And a couple other surprises. That's why at the end of my panel, I tease Marvel Legends will return, because you'll be seeing the same playbook and also maybe slightly new plays as well. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right, little tease. Dragon Man just ended. Wanted to ask you, how has that been received in terms of the public and the amount of, you don't have to get into the amount of orders, but just in terms of the feedback you received from Dragon Man, and internally, how has Dragon Man's success led to now doing another pre-order, made-to-order?
Yeah, I think the fan reaction at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con this summer, when we revealed it, was very positive, right? That Toy Biz, early Toy Biz figure is super rare and hard to come by, but so people liked it. I think it wrapped up and it performed well. It performed within my expectations. So that paved the way to really lean into that same go-to-market strategy for the Sentinel, and in future years, other larger type items, which maybe are on that borderline of, could it be a crowdfund or could it not be, right?
Right.
The more success and the more proof points we get with Dragon Man going into Sentinel, we can carry that forward for other items. Because I do think we love the fans, but I think all the fandoms are a little bit different, right? G.I. Joe, classified fans are in a certain space. Ghostbusters with their, campaigns are in another space, and Marvel Legends too. We're all similar, but a little bit different. And so if this works for Marvel Legends, I will continue trying to push this.
Well, I think Marvel Legends has such a wide variety of audience to cater to. You have MCU, you have comic book fans, so it's a pretty expansive net that you put out there. And I guess with crowdfunding like HasLab, is that a little bit more of a slippery slope than doing a pre-order like this? Is it sort of more the model you guys want to go with now?
Well, I could just tell you from a stress standpoint, HasLabs are very stressful, and they take years off your life, especially when they don't turn out how you would have hoped. We just barely got there on Giant Man on the last day, so that was, that took a lot out of us all.
You lost years in that.
And just as a team, right, the hours of work that go into it, you basically have to complete the item,
Yeah.
right? You have to do all the design work, make all the prototypes, make all the digital renders, work out all the financing and the schedules, and to have a project like that not go forward, as we had one experience of that,
Right.
not great,
Right.
to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we would much rather stick to items where we think there is that certain level of like guaranteed demand for a character like the Sentinel, or it's a character with Dragon Man where there is legacy for that action figure, right? Maybe that character isn't as well known, but for the general Marvel fan, but for the toy collectors, right? There's a certain level of mystique and aura to that original figure that's worth many hundreds of dollars on the secondary market, and this is now a way for a lot of us to get that, because I don't have a Dragon Man, a Toy Biz Dragon Man, for instance, right?
Yeah, that was sort of a dream. I mean, obviously Wade unparalleled. That scoundrel was dreaming for a Dragon Man. So
I know. Well, he told the story. He got one not too long ago as like a gift, a birthday gift, I think was the story.
Who cares about that guy?
Okay,
Let's move
forget
on.
it. He's not here.
He's not here.
So why are we
I'm
talking
here.
about him?
Why are we talking about that guy?
Yeah.
Get him out of here. All right. And just to kind of go one more thing about made to orders and HasLabs and in sort of that world, is there any? I mean, I know Into the Avengers was sort of a tough pill to swallow, but then you guys moved on. You made some great HasLabs and now awesome pre-orders. Would you ever go back to doing maybe vehicles or large items, not just figures, but maybe diodes or multi-packs?
Yeah, we are constantly looking at that stuff, whether it is vehicles or dioramas, things that make sense, for us figure collectors for playing and displaying. But more to come. If there's anything you guys want to see, let us know, and maybe we'll do a poll or something. I don't know.
Yeah, full always work. It's factual. That's latest on ROM. What can you tell us about ROM?
ROM is looking great. We got the final FEPs in packaging in the office, and he looks awesome. You guys haven't seen really how he's coming out, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of folks, but it's a really fun way and something we're excited to build on for the future. So I'll just say
What should we expect maybe a little bit more about ROM or what he might look like finally?
We'll probably reveal it in a Pulse stream, I think, early next year.
Okay,
I think
early next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to plug our, we'll probably do a December year-end wrap-up stream as we do with our draft, the number one segment on all of Pulse. Unverified claim, but I'll say that. And then, we'll maybe drop some news of some other waves.
Okay, keep a lookout for that for the final stream of the year. X-Men 97, excited for what's to come in the future. Some people were disappointed that they had a pre-order for the Retro Beast that was canceled on Big Bad Entertainment Earth. Could you say that maybe people should hold out optimism that they'll have a second chance at a Beast?
Beast is a great character. Perhaps we're working on some new Beasts. So, stay tuned for more on that.
Okay. All right. So maybe the people that were disappointed have something to look forward to.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Any other animated releases planned, like Spider-Man? I know that's going to maybe take a break for now. Anything else, like in terms of like other animated Marvel properties?
Yeah, so we're taking a break from the VHS 2-packs, just that we had been doing first for X-Men as singles and then 2-packs for Spider-Man. So we're moving on to some other things. So it doesn't mean we can't go back, but Spider-Man is just such a rich universe that there might be still a couple of things actually for that on the horizon, but it won't be in that format of Pulse exclusive closed box VHS 2-packs.
So it might be a different iteration of the animated thing.
Yeah.
Is there something personally that you want that hasn't
It's something that Dan Yoon is a big fan of because he is our expert on that show.
Yep.
But there are things that I think are going to appeal to me as well, even as not a huge show, historian. But yeah.
The Punisher 2-pack, War Journal, a lot of people love that Punisher, and they love the 2-pack. And the Punisher is obviously the star of the show. Is there more future plans to use that Punisher in different ways?
I actually don't know. I think I would assume so, because in talking to our team, they put a lot of thought into that articulation. It's a new base body essentially. Yeah. So I got to imagine Dwight, who's a big Punisher fan, as are others on the team, have plans to do other types of Frank Castle style figures.
Yeah. Yeah, people just love that Punisher, the whole new brand new body, like you said. There's so many ways that you can use Punisher, so many iterations. So I feel like a lot of The animated Punisher is also a pretty popular one too.
Yeah, yeah. It just won't be in the
There's
Spider-Man.
something you're thinking of. You're not telling me. I see the wheels turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to.
See, we gotta tease it out for you to give you
Okay.
excitement throughout the year.
That's fair. That's fair. Rumors, leaks, mostly rumors come out. Is there any when you see people react to certain rumors? Does that do anything internally in terms of how you guys approach stuff, or does it, what does it do in terms of when you hear those kind of things?
Yeah, I mean it can a lot of times validate some of our guesses on what we think fans most want to see. But yeah, it just kind of it is what it is, and we work so far in advance that it doesn't really affect the current year's plans. It's more it affects like things for future years, right?
Right. Was there anything specific, and I don't know if you can go into that maybe changed sort of the things that you had planned for this year, that something happened in the past, or sort of maybe made you guys do a 180 on something?
Not too often, to be honest, but I think we put a lot of work into planning up front to know, like, oh, here's a spot to do a character that we know the fans want, that we know completes a team, or we know that needs an update because the last time it was made was 6 years ago on an old, outdated articulation build. So I think we have a pretty good grasp on it, but I would say a lot of the feedback we use it for that long-term planning, I would say.
Rumored lines have been sort of like video game related stuff. Have you guys heard that from people, fans saying they want, Capcom-like or game-like characters, more designed like that, and that's something you're receiving and looking to do?
We've heard that. I mean, I think the cable this year from the Zabu Wave is clearly a little bit inspired by the comic and video game look. So yeah, we're always looking at that kind of things, and where it makes sense, we can try to address them. It does get complicated when you're talking about multiple licensors, right? And so I think if you just look at other collectibles and types of things, you can kind of get a handle on how that really works. But yeah, we know certain designs, certain costumes are important to people, and we will do our best to add them to our list.
Has that conversation ever happened in terms of like Hasbro, Capcom working
Yeah, so
together?
I worked on several items when they did Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I believe it was called, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so we actually have experience in doing those multiple collaborations, but it's just harder to align everything, especially when it's like backwards looking. A lot of the coolest video game stuff that's happening now for Marvel is honestly like the Sony, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man. And so we've done a few things in that vein. Maybe those will continue. I think that is a little more on point than those old arcade games at this point. Yeah.
Well, that is true, but also Marvel vs. Capcom just had a relaunch.
It had
Capcom Fighting
yeah,
Collection.
it
So to think something that was that dormant for so long has now new life, could that maybe lead to something else in terms of Hasbro doing something?
We'll see how that partnership with Marvel and goes in terms of re-releasing stuff. But yeah, we are in tune through Jesse and the team on everything Marvel, from studios to comic books and video games.
Yeah. Last year we talked about the want from the Legend team to make more things from scratch. If you like the idea, like if we could go from the ground up, it's a lot easier for you guys to do, but you guys work within a limited budget. And you want to meet a demand for people as well. Do you feel like you're closer to that certain point than you were before in terms of being able to do more things from the ground up?
I mean, the realities of development and the business are always the same. So I don't think much has changed on that level, but we'll try to mix things up, right? There's some characters that need to be all new, and there's some that don't. And you saw it a lot with the 85th anniversary this year. Hulkbuster, all new. Odin, all new, right? Those are characters where they require it. But
Right.
then you could do another character like that Secret Wars Wolverine, which I think is one of the best Wolverines. It's slightly updating, or like the X-Men 97 Wolverine was like pinless. And that's updating small parts to make another version of the character. So it's always a balance of what we can do.
Yeah, it just feels like this year there's been a sort of sea change in terms of the uniqueness of your figures, the character selection, the extra tooling, brand new scope. Is that sort of it feels like, I don't know if that's just a feeling or that feels like the actual reality of the situation that we're in right now. with Legends.
I'll try to back out of it and just say I'm glad fans are saying this has been a good year for Marvel Legends.
Okay.
That's what we live for.
I hope
so.
you guys inside are saying that as well, because I feel like you've knocked out quite a few things this year. Last question. I asked you this last year. I feel like asking again because it's a brand new year. What's one thing that exceeded your expectations or you're really proud of this year? And what's something you feel like you guys can work on and improve on to go into the next year?
See, I'm getting confused because we're thinking about 26, 25, and 24. So
There's
it's
a lot
hard
of
for me
years
to.
involved. Okay, we're 24, talking about going to 25
I
and then
mean,
maybe some 26.
let's just give it up for me. I had to get this Sentinel prototype made. I had to haul this thing to New York. I had to do the panel reveal. Give it up for me, guys. I had to take it from the PR breakfast. No, but like just because it's topical, the Sentinel is fully revealed, and I think it's off to a good start just from the fan reaction. We'll check in on sales on Monday when we're back in the office.
All right.
But
Do a follow up.
I'm happy with how that kind of panned out. What can we work on? I don't know. I'd love to see more retro card stuff personally, but that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
And so whether it's X-Men or Spider-Man or Iron Man, like I always love doing that kind of stuff. And yeah, Dragon Man too. That was I didn't think we'd get to a point where we'd be doing a made-to-order, pre-order Dragon Man a couple years ago, right? But that was awesome, and can't wait for next year for him.
100%. And last question, your 4 favorite figure lines of all time.
Of all time, I gotta go. I'll just say Marvel Legends. Going back to Toy Biz, so I can keep my job. No, I gotta go G1 Transformers, Playmates, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Marvel Legends, and yeah, I gotta go Toy Biz. I gotta go Toy Biz X-Men.
Yeah.
That was it for me.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
Brian, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Figure Report. Keep up the good work.